Everybody, it is G Mr. Drew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This is going to be episode 237, and we are going to finish up this final and last portrait of Cyclops Man over here. And yeah, it should be good. I'm starting a little early today. I'm wondering if I'm gonna be able to actually get two in, since I know coloring this isn't gonna be like a full stream time, so I'll probably have a little time to kill. And maybe I'll do another video today. I don't know. The way things have been going lately with all my time sap, maybe not. We'll see. Let's see how this goes. Either way, today is Thursday, August 26th. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you may realize you're watching an old video, old recording. You want to watch these things live, you can follow me on Twitch. Or if you don't have a Twitch account, you may follow me on Patreon. You have to be a patron to watch most of the videos, but fortunately, I have just like tiers starting at $1, and starting at $3 you get commissions and dope things like that. So plenty of options. Go check those out, or just keep watching on YouTube. You know, maybe you don't care. Maybe you're just in for the art and appreciate like art stuff. And it's like, I don't care when this was made or what you talk about. I mute you, anyways, which is fine. I get it. Uh, so yeah, man, let's just get into coloring this thing. I've been thinking about it since yesterday when I did the pencils and inks, and I really like this, man. And it's making me wonder about like how when I go to do the manga portion of it all, how is it gonna look? You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to create it, self-publish and all that stuff, like what's the end result going to look like? I mean, I guess all of that's up to me. But yeah, very interesting. Since I started inking these things before coloring them, I started doing that strictly because of the manga purposes. And yeah, so see how it goes. I got YouTube in the background. I got Nintendo Black Crisis, that new channel I've been watching lately for all Zelda stuff. He has a 45-minute analysis of the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, and we're about 5 minutes into that. So he's gonna be talking about some Zelda stuff, and then yeah, man, let's just get into it.
Trailer where the ground crumbles under her and that she'll most likely survive the fall. This is where the real trailer begins. A bright light envelops the screen, leading into a shot of Link free-falling into the sky. The first thing you'll notice are the floating islands below, and that wherever we are, it's very high up in the sky, within the clouds.
Oh,
So high that
let me get the
you
light
can't
straightened
really see
out.
the surface.
There
The
we
way
go.
Link dives down is
Hopefully
very
that makes it a
similar
little
to
brighter.
Skyward Sword, another Zelda game that happens to deal with floating islands. I have a feeling that this may be around the tutorial part of the game, specifically the floating islands portion. The island Link is diving to has paths on the ground, and the landmass appears to be cut off from the other part of the island as there's no bridge. This floating island may serve a similar purpose as the Great Plateau from Breath of the Wild. At first I thought this island had a giant lake, but it could also be a shadow cast by some of the clouds above. The fact that Link is diving down to this island is interesting since it makes you wonder where he jumped from. The light transition in the shot could imply that Link hopped through some sort of portal to get up this high. One of the biggest details about this scene is Link himself. He's wearing a completely different outfit compared to the traditional champion's tunic getup. A green cloth is wrapped around his left shoulder with some sort of symbol.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see what the symbol is.
Looking
as
like
most of
Tarzan
it's
and
out of view,
shit.
But I'm very interested in what it's supposed to be.
I'm an Aztec
Especially
warrior.
if this outfit is as important as the champion's tunic from the first game. Unlike his original design, this Link's hair isn't tied up, and he's wearing some sandal-like footwear. But the feature that sticks out the most is his right arm, the same one that was attacked by the Malice and fused with the green energy, which visually looks like it's in very bad shape. There's also some markings that extend beyond his shoulder to the back and most likely his chest. And I'll go into more detail about those a bit later. In the upper right of this shot appears to be a giant floating structure, and this leads us into the following shot. We're still in the sky, but it's now nighttime. There's another building in the top right of the screen, which may be the one seen previously. It stands out compared to the other structures in floating islands, so this place is without a doubt of some importance. Perhaps a dungeon. For the most part, Link's outfit remains the same, though he appears to have equipped a different set of boots. Another detail you may have noticed in both this shot and the previous one is that Link lacks the Master Sword. In fact, you never see the blade after this initial scene of the malice consuming his arm. There are some occasions where he wields a sword, but it's never the Master Sword. Further evidence that suggests that the malice somehow renders the blade useless against the Calamity. It's worth noting that Link is using a different paraglider in this game. The first one had the Rito crest on it, and while this new one appears to also use the symbol, as the bottom of it is seen, the rest of the design is different. It may be yet another version of the royal family's crest. The paraglider also has two streamers on the back of it, something that Zeltic pointed out in his analysis, where some concept art of Breath of the Wild included these in its rough design. Their purpose is to show the direction of the wind, and considering a lot of this game will take place on floating islands, this detail may be important when traversing the terrain. And the shield that Link is using is something not seen in Breath of the Wild. It sort of resembles the Sheikah Eye, so maybe the symbol is a more ancient version of the one often seen in the Zelda franchise. The shot gives us a pretty good look at the bottom of the floating islands, which appear to have a blocky sort of look, resembling that of the structures found on the terrain. And we still can't really see the surface of Hyrule similar to the previous shot. It's clear that the sequel will have more of a focus on the skies above Hyrule, as stated by Onuma at the end of the trailer, but I do have a theory of my own. If Zelda falls deep underground, and Link is sent to the skies, perhaps the story will be split between two parts. Link exploring the open world of Hyrule, including its skies, and Zelda traversing through the underground caverns of the kingdom. I'm hoping that what was shown in this trailer is only a fraction of the actual game, and that we'll get another trailer solely focused on underground exploration. Anyways, back to the trailer. There's this gorgeous shot of Link running across one of the floating islands. It looks like these locations may include their own wildlife, as we do see three birds on the surface. There's some stonework to the right and left of the shot, both feature engravings. Again, these structures don't resemble ones from Breath of the Wild, as both the ancient Hylian and Zonai ruins differ in design. There are some possible connections to the latter which we'll go over later, but there's enough of a difference to suggest that these were constructed by a new group or race. One of the patterns found on the structures to the left is one that appears repeatedly throughout the trailer, which isn't too surprising, and right below that are some visible markings. I believe this pattern is also found on some of the other shots, though I'm not 100% certain. For some reason, they stick out compared to the rest of the stone. It could be the lighting or that they're a different color. At the end of this path is what appears to be a gate. I believe this structure is also placed at the end of the floating island, so a part of me wonders if these gates will be scattered across the floating islands and will act as portals connecting the landmasses, or that they'll be used to switch between the surface and sky portions of the game. Another structure is visible in the background on one of the other islands, and it resembles the one that Link is walking towards. We then get a first look at what may be one of the new enemies of Breath of the Wild sequel, a mechanical being with a design different to that of Sheikah technology. Its head sort of resembles a frog, with two eyes on the sides of the face and a mouth. The figure
Oh
wears
shit,
earrings
it
which
does
may
look
be
like a frog.
based off of an upside down Sheikah eye with its overall shape and three eyelashes. Part of these earrings feature a pattern also present on ruins such as the giant dragon statue consuming the Spring of Courage, Sargon Bridge, and the exterior of the temple shown off in the first trailer of the sequel. In fact, many on Twitter have pointed out the similarity of the eye to the one representing Vati at the Four Sword Sanctuary. Even the symbols of the shield itself closely resemble the bits on the robot. On its sides are two pinecone-shaped objects, and they remind me of closed lotus flowers. This same object is actually paired with some of the Sky Island structures, including ones in the background of this shot, as well as another one. Because this item is seen on both the mechanical being and ruins, it means that they are connected in some way. But the biggest detail to take away here comes from this thing's spine, as we see a green energy flowing through it, likely the same one found on Ganondorf's seal and the mysterious hand. Therefore, I believe this being serves a similar purpose as Godin from Wind Waker or Mazel from Minish Cap. It acts as a sort of guardian to the Sky Ruins and may test the hero with trials, whether it be puzzles or through combat. If there's one thing this creature reminds me of, it's definitely the technology found within Skyward Sword's Lanayru province, such as the mining facility and Sandship. We don't know much about the group who constructed the ancient robots, so perhaps there is a connection. Lastly, there's some sort of circular symbol on the robot, and I'm not sure what it's supposed to represent. The center of it is shaped like a broom, some have even described it as a clock, though it's worth noting that it's off center if it were to be a clock hand. Directly behind the robot is an archway, and it looks like it has the same design as the ones from before, but it may be a different location. And to the right are stairs leading up to a shrine like structure, engraved into it the same pattern as seen previously. The front pillars get more narrow as you move down the structure, making it somewhat resemble fangs of a serpent. And the patterns on the side of the shrine remind me of the ones found on the massive dragon statue within the Theron region. But again, what's seen on the floating islands may have nothing to do with the Zonai of Breath of the Wild. There's so much more to unpack when it comes to Breath of the Wild 2's recent trailer, but before we continue with that, I'd like to talk about today's sponsor, Squarespace.
Sponsors.
Squarespace is a very useful tool for those who want to make their own website but lack the experience.
Yeah, that's what I did. I use Squarespace, guys. Not a sponsor.
I got another trailer. Oh yeah, speaking of trailers, Zelda's still in that pit. I should probably go save her. Wait, what's that? Oh, you mean I can finish up the rest of the sponsor before I go do that? Wow, thanks Zelda. You sure are nice. There's plenty of custom templates to use, whether it's a website for business or personal reasons, so if you're not sure...
More sponsorship stuff.
And whenever he transitions from one location to the other. But we also have to take into account the possibility of multiple armor sets, similar to the first game. He still uses the same paraglider as before, a detail worth remembering for later. Of course, the first thing you'll notice is the Bokoblin camp atop a stone talus within Hyrule Field. It looks like the talus's weak point still exists, so destroying that may bring down the entire fort. In fact, the Bokoblins appear to have added some wood barriers, making it impossible to hit the weak spot from certain angles. Notice the spikes below the wooden platforms in some of the areas, which makes climbing up the talus more challenging. But it looks like there are spots where Link can still climb up, though he'll also need to be careful of the Bokoblin archers. When you spend too much time on top of a stone talus in Breath of the Wild, he shakes you off, but I'm not sure if this enemy will still do that since there are now Bokoblins on its head. On the topic of Bokoblins, they now appear to have very long horns. A lot of people seemed surprised that the Bokoblins have horns to begin with, but in reality they've always had horns. It's one of the drops you get from them, and you can even see it on top of their head. For some reason, they're a lot bigger in the sequel. I agree with HMK's take on this, where he suggests that it's because Ganon has complete control over his malice now that he's free. Naturally, he would be much more powerful in this game. It's the simplest and most logical answer in my opinion. In the beginning of the shot, two mysterious structures are seen sticking out of the ground. These weren't present in the first game, and their design resembles the ruins atop the floating islands. Assuming that the previous shots were taken far above the skies of Hyrule, these could be parts of the island structures that have fallen to the ground. Many viewers have also pointed out two more interesting details. One is that Death Mountain appears to be inactive, with no lava flowing down the sides. Perhaps more of this location will be explorable in the sequel, it may even hold a dungeon. The other is the lack of the Deku Tree in the background. You may have also noticed a lack of Sheikah technology, which, in terms of the story, makes sense. Calamity Ganon has been defeated, therefore this technology has served its purpose and is most likely sunk back into the ground. We don't even see Guardians in the trailer. It does make me wonder if they'll tie the ending of Breath of the Wild into the beginning of the sequel, where Zelda and Link head to Zora's Domain once Vibruta stops working. And on the topic of the Divine Beasts, I'm not sure if we'll get an explanation as to what happened to them. Unlike the shrines, towers, and columns, they can't simply sink back into the ground, but since the sequel isn't about this technology, it's not really a big deal. They've served their purpose and are now gone. This leads us into one of the more interesting scenes of the trailer, a shot of what appears to be the green hand fusing with Link's right arm. The bracing surrounding his arm is the same as the one from the green hand in the first trailer. It has the same overall shape, especially the circular part on the back of the hand. And it too has engravings that occasionally glow a greenish color. Judging from Link's posture, he appears to be lying down on the floor, atop a circular pedestal. In the background of the shot is a sort of script unlike anything we've seen in previous Zelda games. And like the language of the Sheikah and Hylians, this too will probably be translatable to the Latin alphabet. Its design is unique, suggesting that this script comes from a whole new group. Now, back to the arm. The engravings on the bracing light up and flow down from Link's shoulder to his hand. The glow on his arm is only brief, as you can see it fade away, revealing his new arm, which takes on a much darker color similar to the close-up of him free-falling. You can even see the bracing in the shot, including the ones of Link in his champion tunic. This is a very important detail to remember for later. Part of Link's right side of the body is also visible, though he's also shirtless. Assuming this takes place shortly after the events of the game, I'm curious as to how he wound up in this state. Did he remove his champion's tunic? Did somebody else do it for him? Zelda's already fallen into the pit. At least that's the current assumption. Since his new outfit only covers the left side of his body, he could also be wearing that at this time. The clothing on his lower half is also different, perhaps it's his underwear. It's very similar to how Link starts off his adventures in the first game, as he's wearing nothing but his boxers. One other detail linking his right hand back to the one sealing Ganondorf are the fingernails. They aren't nearly as long as the ones from the first trailer, but they are definitely longer than Link's. It makes sense, as this hand is a sort of fusion between his and the one responsible for the seal. Going back to the scene with the malice consuming Link's arm, one possibility is that the green hand fuses with Link's to stop the spread of malice, and that it acts as a sort of curse. The markings seen on Link's shoulder and back could be from the fusion of the green hand, but it may also represent a spreading of this malice curse. But there are things about this trailer that, when compared to the first, are kind of strange. In this shot,
games, and I can bond with my family and friends through gaming.
arm is glowing green, suggesting that this is when he merges with the hand. But the one thing he lacks is the bracing. In addition, the Master Sword is currently on his back. Either this detail was changed later in development, or this takes place before the other scene. So it's possible that Link obtains this power, the Malice goes after the Master Sword in his arm, and then the shot from the second trailer happens sometime after. It's a bit harder to explain the events which would cause this progression of stories, since the green hand fusing to replace or heal Link's arm sounds pretty likely. And there's also the possibility of the arm choosing to save Link from falling, as opposed to maintaining Ganondorf's seal, resulting in the return of the Gerudo King. Next shot, we cut to Link using a stasis-like ability on the spiked ball rolling down what could be Death Mountain. And there's a lot to take away from this scene. Instead of using the Sheikah Slate, this power appears to originate from Link's new hand, as it can be seen once the image is enhanced. One of the most popular theories is that the hand would be Breath of the Wild 2's main mechanic, as seen from the concept art from the first game, where Link uses his arm for different abilities. Chances are this is only one of the many powers that the hero will have access to thanks to the green hand. When Link uses this ability, a bright golden color emanates from his right hand, and on the back of the hand appears to be another bright light. It's very similar to when one uses the Triforce, so it's possible that the relic appears on Link's right hand when using this power. However, I also believe that this glow may be coming from a part of the bracing, as the area directly behind Link's hand features a circular pattern. I do hope the Triforce is more prominent in this game though, as it was never mentioned in Breath of the Wild, nor had any real relevance to the story. The power itself is worth discussing. The color is very similar to the Stasis Rune, however this ability takes time manipulation to a whole new level. The surrounding area changes to black and white, and the spiked ball pauses briefly before being shot backwards into the oncoming enemies. While frozen, a series of after images of the ball's previous locations are seen along with the path taken by this object. It's clear that this ability involves the reversal of time, very different to stasis, a power that simply freezes an object in place. In fact, you can even see the ball align with its after images as it rolls back up the mountain, as it is literally going back through time. I'm curious as to whether the black and white aesthetic will remain in the final version, or if it was only added to the trailer for show. It sort of reminds me of the seal placed on Hyrule Castle in The Wind Waker. When you first arrive, all enemies are frozen in place, the area devoid of color. After Link obtains the Master Sword, the castle is restored to its former state, which both unfreezes the enemies and brings back the color. The Bokoblins aren't the only ones to get a redesign, as the Moblins now wear a skull-like helmet. That, or it's a part of the head itself. In the first game, these enemies had long horns. I'm assuming that all other enemies will have slight adjustments to them, and I'm sort of curious as to what the Lizalfos will look like, as well as where this spiked ball came from. Did an enemy throw it or kick it down the hill? Breath of the Wild occasionally has boulders and snowballs roll down the terrain, but those are more of natural occurrences. We cut to another scene with Champion Link, and he's using some sort of flamethrower weapon against a new type of enemy not seen in Breath of the Wild. It appears to be attached to the ceiling and looks similar to a light or lever. The fact that it's a new enemy gives me hope that we'll see others such as Redads and Darknuts. It's safe to assume that the strange looking bulb in the center is its weak point, and like a flower, it can close its mouth to protect it from Link's attacks. The design of the item used looks exactly the same as the Zonai Dragon heads spread all across Hyrule, and it's the only solid connection to this tribe as everything else presented in the trailer could be from a different group of people. What's interesting is that this item seems to be powered by the same green energy as the robot, as a few frames of the shot reveal parts of the mouth and eyes to be glowing. Link is using his left hand, so it's not the green arm that's giving him this ability. It's another example of technology powered by a form of energy. But when you look closely, the dragon head is actually attached to a shield. The question I have is the flamethrower item exclusive to this shield, or will we have different shield attachments that we can swap throughout the game? The location itself appears to be underground, perhaps a small room in a bigger dungeon. There's a platform at the back of the chamber reminiscent of the ones found at the Goddess Springs, though it doesn't have anything on it. Perhaps a chest will spawn there once we defeat this enemy. On the floor of the room is a circular pattern with more script that resembles the one found on the sky structures. In fact, the walls of the room are the same as the ones of this previous shot. One detail Zeltic pointed out that I missed is that another set of markings are visible on the stone, ones that are also seen on these columns. And it makes sense given the other similarities between both architecture. But there's one detail about this scene that intrigues me. Some assume that this shot takes place on the interior of one of the Sky Islands, but notice what outfit the hero is wearing. His champion's tunic, which has consistently been paired with gameplay taking place on Hyrule's surface. Meanwhile, all of the shots within the sky have Link in his more ancient outfit. Therefore, I believe that this chamber isn't located up in the skies, but deep underground on Hyrule's surface. Which is interesting to think about since we may see more of the sky
Homie
architecture
breaking it
beneath the ground.
down.
Since Link is using the shield, it also gives us a better look at the bow and sword currently equipped. The latter is especially hard to see in the other shots since it's covered up by the shield. On the topic of equipment, Link has nothing in the first shot of him free falling down to the floating islands, another detail hinting this to be the start of the game. Next, we see a quick shot of a water droplet and puddle. But something is clearly off about it. This whole sequence is played in reverse as it goes from the splash to the droplet moving upwards. Yet another hint that much of this game will involve time manipulation. But at the moment, it's unclear whether this
God
is purely
damn.
a gameplay mechanic
Got time
or will have some sort of
manipulation.
impact on the overall story. I find
got
the
the
shape
hand
of the critter in the
mechanic.
ground very strange as it looks a bit artificial or man-made, but that's more of a minor
This game
detail.
about to
The next scene has a lot more
let the
to
world
unpack.
know.
Link appears to be diving upwards and phases through the bottom of the structure, reappearing on top of it. Again, the green energy is seen spiraling around him and slowly dissipates once he reaches the top. The hand seems to be glowing at this point, so it's safe to say that this is one of its powers being used. Now, it could be a gameplay mechanic incorporated into the game's puzzles, But another idea is that this is the animation played when fast traveling from the surface to the floating islands. The puddles seen in the previous shot could even be connected to this. Perhaps the player interacts with these locations to ascend to different parts of the sky. But the former is also plausible, as you can see a platform just below the point where Link is jumping. If this extends to the point beneath him, it would most likely be a gameplay mechanic that will be used for puzzles. This time, we get a better look at one of the shrine-like structures, and this is why I have my doubts about its design being Zonai related. The way it's cropped out in the first shot makes it look like the fangs of a dragon, but when the rest is visible, it just looks like a regular structure. A part of its
Time is quality time, as long as you're together. Ritz, a taste of welcome.
engravings unique to this building, with what could be an altar or table at the back. In fact, I believe that this same shrine is what's seen in the first shot of the floating islands, as well as some other locations. If the gates aren't portals connecting the islands, then perhaps these serve that same purpose. Or the gates are what lets the player travel from island to island, and these shrines will take you back to the surface. If what we saw previously is a fast travel animation, it's happening right beside one of these shrines. In fact, the gates and other structures seen appear to have a bit of a Japanese aesthetic to them, which is interesting. The same pinecone shaped objects are found at this location, very similar to the previous shot with the robot, and the ground is made up of a unique pattern, though there's nothing noteworthy about it. What's interesting is that this is the only shot where Hyrule's surface is clearly visible. It's around the area of Thundra Plateau since you can see the mushroom-like trees close to the Ridgeline Tower. Masked Nintendo Bandit made an interesting observation in one of his videos, and that was the fact that some of the ancient Hylian pillars within Breath of the Wild are missing in the shot of the sequel's trailer. The rest of the E3 trailer is focused on Hyrule Castle itself. We get a close-up shot of the location rising into the air, parts of the castle crumbling. But not all of it is lifted upwards, since locations such as the gatehouse remain grounded, and the force lifting this massive structure is revealed. Directly beneath it is an incredible amount of malice seeping out from underground. Some speculated that Ganondorf's corpse may have been located somewhere that wasn't Hyrule Castle, but it seems pretty clear from this trailer that this is the location he was sealed. In fact, it looks like his malice is literally pushing up the castle as if it's one giant hand. The final shot of the sequence shows Hyrule Castle, now raised and once again surrounded by malice. Castletown is visible from the shot, and since it's still ruined, the events shown in the sequel may have taken place mere weeks after the first games. One thing I'd like to point out is the bottom of the landmass supporting Hyrule Castle. We can't see the bottom of the middle column since the malice is blocking the way. There's a chance that the castle isn't floating and it's being supported by a giant pillar which has ascended, but there's nothing else to support this idea. Chances are that it's floating. In fact, it's similar to Ganondorf's castle in Ocarina of Time, where it hovers over what looks like a pit of lava. In the 3DS version, this is retextured and looks a lot more like Malice. I also think of Skyward Sword's sealed grounds when it comes to this shot. By the end of Skyward Sword, a part of Skyloft comes back down, directly on top of the seal put on Demise. And in the sequel's trailer, the chunk of land Hyrule Castle is sitting on is above what we can assume is Ganondorf's location. But I don't think this is supposed to be the same area as the sealed grounds, as the Forgotten Temple has plenty of evidence to suggest that it's where these ruins lay. And that's basically the trailer. Before I dive into some of the theories spreading around, I want to talk about its music. The opening piece definitely gives me Skyward Sword vibes, which isn't too surprising. Much of Breath of the Wild 2's inspiration appears to come from Skyward Sword. When I listen to the trailer's music, it makes me think of a piece called Ballad of the Goddess. Some people believe that the audio playing when Hyrule Castle rises into the sky sounds like the background music of Rome's prophecy cutscene when put into reverse. Personally, I think they're unrelated. In fact, the music played just sounds like a sped up version of the theme from the first trailer. And lastly, some notes from Zelda's Lullaby play in the final shot of the sequel's trailer. Now I'll be addressing some of the popular theories regarding Breath of the Wild 2 and give my own thoughts. Because we see two separate outfits in the trailer, one for the floating island portion and the other being his getup from Breath of the Wild, many believe that we'll be playing as two different Links. But there's a ton of evidence that suggests these are the same person. Both Links use the same paraglider, as well as wear the same type of earrings. And like we've previously established, the champion Link also has the dark skinned arm. It's seen in all of his shots, especially the one underground. The last detail many point to is the difference in hairstyle compared to Breath of the Wild's. His hair isn't tied up in the floating islands portion of the trailer and appears to be much longer. But in Breath of the Wild, there were outfits that would change his hairstyle altogether. In fact, the ancient armor reveals that Link has incredibly long hair. Therefore, his look in Breath of the Wild 2 could simply be a different outfit he's wearing. A lot of people have already connected this outfit to the one of the ancient hero, and I do see the connection. But I don't think this is proof that we'll be playing as Breath of the Wild Link for the surface parts and the ancient hero for the sky bits. But I do believe that this outfit is supposed to be the same one that was worn by the ancient hero long ago, and that it's a callback of sorts. I saw an interesting post that this yellow part of the ancient hero's shoulder of the tapestry could be the symbol of the cloth wrapped around Link's shoulder, which may be connected. On the topic of connections, remember Ganondorf's clothing? Well, just like Link, there's a cloth wrapped around his left shoulder. But due to this, many are assuming that the Link we're playing as in the sky is actually the same person that turns into Ganondorf later on. I don't understand why this connection is being made since there's nothing that supports this idea. In fact, most of the evidence contradicts this. There's no doubt a connection between Link and Ganondorf's clothing, but that connection could be as simple as it being the thing people wore from this time period. And that's assuming this game has time travel. Speaking of time travel, it's probably the most popular theory being spread around at the moment. If both Links are actually the same, and we visit floating islands with architecture that differs from Breath of the Wild's, are the bits with the ancient Link happening in Hyrule's past? Are we reliving the events told 10,000 years ago? First, I'll discuss the evidence for this, and then provide a counter-argument. Exhibit A. The hero's outfit in the floating islands part of the trailer may be referencing the same outfit as the ancient hero. In addition, the odd color of this hero's hand could be referencing the green arm that Link obtains. Exhibit B. The events of the tapestry may actually be of the actions of the hero of the future going back to the past. Exhibit C. All the floating islands appear to be of new locations never seen in Breath of the Wild, with architecture not matching any of the ruins we know of in the first game. And none of these islands are visible in Hyrule's surface shots. Exhibit D. Some of Hyrule's landmarks are missing, such as the ancient Hylian columns close to the Sarah's Scablands and the Great Deku Tree. Death Mountain also appears to be inactive as no lava is flowing. Exhibit E. Enemies such as the Bokoblins and Moblins take on different appearances. And finally, Exhibit F. We have time manipulation game mechanics in Breath of the Wild 2, which could be hinting at a bigger time travel plot. Now for the counter-arguments. I said this previously, but Link wearing this outfit could be more of a callback to the ancient hero, and the legend told by Impa 10,000 years ago heavily involves the Sheikah technology, something that doesn't make an appearance in this trailer. In regards to the floating islands and architecture not seen in the first game, it's also plausible that these originate from a different world or realm. I'll be going into more detail regarding this a bit later on in the video. And then there's the changes in Hyrule's landmarks. The missing ancient Hylian pillars could simply be this game's draw distance. The Switch isn't a very powerful system compared to others, so the game doesn't always load in structures or ruins that are technically visible. The same could also be said for the Deku Tree, but there's more regarding him that contradicts the time travel theory. Masterwork.
America's favorites made from plants.
Breakfast burritos will get you out of bed. It's not a dream, it's Taco Bell.
Page 229, written by the structural lead artist, Manabu Takahara. I apologize if I butchered that name because I probably did. In this part, he talks about Breath of the Wild's Deku Tree. It mentions a young tree who, with the passing of an eternity, became the guardian of the Master Sword. The next part states, how many sacred maidens and heroes opposing countless calamities has this ancient tree witnessed? It suggests that there have been multiple calamities, and that the one from Breath of the Wild and the events 10,000 years ago are only the most recent. In fact, the Deku Tree himself states that he's watched over Hyrule since time immemorial. If we are taking place in a Hyrule around the time of events of Impa's tapestry, then the Deku Tree should be in the background of the shot. So, what if this Hyrule is instead a much older one that takes place before the Deku Tree's appearance, or at a time where he hasn't reached his full growth? Well, the background reveals the Akala Citadel, a structure that probably shouldn't exist around this time period. In addition, the tower from the ranch ruins is also present. So, unless there's a retcon of information, time traveling to an ancient Hyrule doesn't seem plausible. Remember that, while much of Masterworks information can be questioned, this passage comes from one of the game's developers. But this leaves us with an important question. If this is present day Hyrule, what happened to the Deku Tree? As said previously, it could be draw distance, but there are other possibilities. Since Ganondorf has been freed from whatever was restraining him, he may have attacked the Korok Forest and cursed the Deku Tree, similar to Ocarina of Time. It was the resting place of the Master Sword, so he'd have every reason to target it. It's also possible that, similar to Hyrule Castle, the Korok Forest has risen to the skies and has become a floating island. It's true that all the islands we've seen are new locations featuring new structures, but that doesn't mean that none of Hyrule's locations have risen above the clouds. There's many possible answers to this question, so it doesn't have to be time travel. On the topic of Death Mountain, the reason it was so active in Breath of the Wild was due to Rudania. Volcanic eruptions were much more frequent and the amount of lava on the mountain increased. It got so hot that it interfered with the Goron's mining operations. Since Rudania has stopped its rampage, Death Mountain would have settled down and maybe even become inactive. And as stated previously, the redesign of the monsters may have simply been due to Ganondorf's increased power. Others have pointed out that the positioning of the sun and angle of the shadows cast is slightly different in the sequel's trailer, and some believe that Hyrule's planet spin may have been reversed, and that it will play a big role in the sequel's plot. However, it's worth noting that due to the Earth's slight tilt on its axis as it orbits around our sun, the angles of the shadows change depending on the season, and that's because the angle of the sun would be slightly different. It makes sense that its positioning and angle of the shadows differ to Breath of the Wild's. Plus, the lighting may have been adjusted just so that the shots from the trailer look nice. One detail that is interesting is Link's face. We only get a clear shot of it when his arm is consumed by Malice. First off, I need to address that it could simply be the fact that this is a third-person game. You don't spend much time looking at his face, aside from the occasional cutscenes. But if there are details being hidden, I have a feeling that it involves the shot of Malice going after Link. Assuming that the green hand emerges with his to stop the spread of Malice, and that the markings on his shoulder and back represent a spreading of his curse, perhaps there's something on Link's face which suggests a gradual corruption of sorts. Breath of the Wild's Malice was capable of reanimating the skulls of deceased monsters, even corrupting the spirit of Ice Naedra. What's to say that something like this can't happen to Link himself? Especially since the Ganondorf we see would be much more powerful than Calamity Ganon. It doesn't even have to be a huge part of the hero's face that's messed up. I can just imagine one of his eyes being replaced with the ones found on the bogs of Malice all across Hyrule. If that ends up being his design, I'll legitimately freak out because it would be incredible. Now, back to the floating islands. Remember how we discussed it being a huge part of the time travel theory? We suggested that instead of them existing because the game takes place in Hyrule's past, they originate from a different world or realm of sorts. Now, don't get me wrong, the shot clearly shows these islands directly above Hyrule. However, with the other shots, there is a sea of clouds below the islands. Either this is incredibly high up, or not all the floating islands are accessed through Hyrule. We do know that some of these floating islands have to be in the same world, as there's the debris closely matching with the architecture in the Sky Islands, but perhaps some of these islands have, for some reason, left their own realm to merge with Hyrule's. One possibility is that the area we see above the clouds is the Sacred Realm, resting place of the Triforce. Previous depictions of it show a land in the sky, such as A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds. In fact, the Sacred Realm of both games feature structures, some in the background of the former's official art, while Link and Zelda visit the one from the latter, with stonework not too different from what's seen in the sequel's trailer. To some extent, time travel may serve a purpose in the story, but at most it will probably be Link traveling to different pocket dimensions or something. I don't think Hyrule itself will be an ancient version of what's seen in the first game. Another theory, and one that I personally believe, is that the location Link visits in Breath of the Wild 2 is connected to the realm above the cloud barrier seen in Skyward Sword. I previously discussed the portals that the dragons fly through at sunset and their similarity to the ones that open up allowing Link to reach the surface. It's possible that this barrier is still up at the time of Breath of the Wild, and the place the elemental spirits travel to is the same realm that Skylock resides in. In fact, one of the NPCs at the Woodland Stable, Shamay, directly references Skyward Sword. She believes that long ago, people used to live in the sky. Once you complete her quest, she goes on to state that she wants to visit a land in the sky and ride a really big bird. Before the E3 2021 trailer, this seemed like a mere reference to Skyward Sword, but given the context we have now, this could also be foreshadowing of what's to come in the game's sequel. I won't go over much of this theory as I plan to discuss it in an upcoming video on Skyward Sword's potential connections to Breath of the Wild 2. I'll end off this analysis by saying that we may be getting more news on the sequel much earlier than we think. According to Bill Trinan, Nintendo plans on showing more of the game over the coming months to the next year or so. Apparently the game will be releasing in 2022, but from the way it's worded it may be pushed back. And honestly, they should take all the time they need to make this game. As of now, it's still referred to as the sequel to Breath of the Wild, but apparently they do have a title for the game, and if they reveal that title now, it would be a massive spoiler to the game. So, hey, time travel is still technically an option, but know that there are some issues with it. For those who made it to the end of this analysis, I thank you for watching. This turned out to be an even bigger project than I expected. I'm starting to see a pattern here with my videos getting longer than I think they're going to be. New trailer. So, if you enjoyed it, then please consider subscribing. Expect more Breath of the Wild 2 videos in the future, especially since a ton of collaborations are in the works. I'm planning to release my next video at the end of June, so stay tuned for that. I've been Nintendo Black Crisis, and I'll see you all next time.
Simple ingredients: organic hops, organic barley, and water. It's organic, but chill about it.
Lies, I guess, in the top part. Oh my god. Let's go! Yeah, you read this title right. Big, massive thanks, and I love you to Grasshopper and Aaron for sending me this code for No More Heroes 3. So we'll be playing a bit of the game for you.
Oh, okay. This is Matt McMuscle's video on No More Heroes, just because I have no idea what No More Heroes is, and apparently it's already on his third game. Like, I'm sure I've heard the term No More Heroes said over the years, but I'll be honest, I know absolutely nothing. So yeah, this is just a breakdown. I'm gonna listen whatever this guy has to say about this, so I can begin to understand. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Our difficulties are very sweet, bitter, and spicy. Yeah, spicy ain't for me. I'm too nervous. I'm a nervous wreck here. Once the difficulty level has been set, it cannot be changed. I'm locked in, baby. This is that really bizarre anime-looking trailer that we saw, like, what, a year ago, 2 years ago? Me and Liam had watched it, during a Nintendo Direct, I believe. I might be wrong on that, I probably am. And Liam was like, "It's No More Heroes," and I was like, "What? You're stupid!" And then it turned out to be No More Heroes.
Is it No More Heroes? Goddamn superhero! Goddamn superhero! That's absolutely true! Whoa! It's No More Heroes! Oh my God!
I thought he was a crazy little Liam, but he was right. So this tells the story all about how Fu got turned upside down. This little alien meets this little kid, and they have an ET-esque adventure. And then this guy grows up to be our antagonist. Watch out! Don't touch that! Don't touch that cute doggy. Just watch. Wow, he marked it down to the day. 20 years later. Okay. All right. Yeah. If you're an alien force, you want to come in with a hot beat. So here's a villain.
Is that you?
Oh, it be me. It be that
I
food.
love you!
Aw.
Ooh. Looks like you've been living large then.
And in charge.
Power to get yourself a pretty sweet piece of the pie. These dudes are my buddies. We met in the hole.
Our other bosses.
Hey, Damon, let's team up and make this
How is Sylvia here? Like, I know Sylvia's in this game, but how is she here?
I'm taking it over, duh.
Oh.
Oh shit, that looked kind of dope.
What did you do?
What's happening?
So we're gonna jump on that. I'm a goddamn superhero.
Yeah, that's right, like Electra. I watched Electra not too long ago. I regretted it. Alright, why am I wearing these shorts? Why am I like this? Okay. Oh, the cat tree! Multiple cat trees! I love it. We're taking so good care of Jean. Can we dump save? Can we save dump? No, we cannot. I think we just need to head out. We need to exit that. Yeah, press A, huh? That was amazing. Just the prompt to exit a door was amazing.
Was today the 4th of July? If not, is the Empire striking back or what?
I know what that is!
So we got multiple alien ships. Oh, we got some dudes coming in hot and spicy. This looks like a Ultimate Muscle character. Okay.
I'm gonna build a tower right here.
Wait, sorry, did he just destroy half of Santa Destroy? I like this guy. Oh my god, alright. Shinobu and Batgirl just here.
Hey, can I ask you something? Are you guys aliens?
Oh shit! This looks like fun. Let me play.
You know how to take these guys down?
Oh, so
Baseball
so what is it, like
bat.
anime superheroes? Something like that.
Start the game.
I'm gonna have to like look up a documentary.
Yeah, play those video games, bitch. Oh, it's Master Gita. My name is Taro Gita. My gamer buddies usually call me Master Gita. From here on out, he's going to be showing us a bunch of tutorials, I'm sure. But I can jump though, so oh my god. Silly, I don't use your Nintendo pointers here. She's taking up like half the screen. Alright, here we go. Ah. Ooh, that feels. I'm just rubbing my chest because that felt so good. Damn.
How is this? Are these really aliens?
I love how that's his main concern.
All right. Its atomic composition is unknown.
So it's alien.
Range of research to include the entire galaxy.
Yeah, you do that.
So they really are aliens. Real funky, real quick.
Master, I believe the time has come to use it.
Oh, what is it?
Awakened system.
Yep, I'm Jeff.
What the fuck is happening? Oh, it's gonna do. He's gonna do it. I I mean, it's a really cool suit of armor. Yeah, let's just Gurren Lagann right now, off the bat. Ah, callbacks! Okay, sure, I'll accept that. You should accept a lot of stuff when you play No More Heroes game, folks. What?
You're behind enemy line.
What?
Something wrong? It's just, I always assumed you were a female. Are you tweaking? I've always have. That's pretty badass.
Oh my god, let's go. Gene sounds like Dennis Haysbert. I am here for it.
Probably some planet-eating type dude waiting for me up ahead. All yoked and powerful and trying to take over the world.
All hopped up on green tea. God, that's the references to No More Heroes 1 is sending me right now.
Here we go. Taking a kill trip on that road.
Alright, title drop. Put it on the board.
The Garden of Insanity is awaiting your...
That's like a step above madness. Okay, Bone, what? They came to take over the Earth. The way he moves is so creepy. This dude's just a Goomba. 101, he's not so tough, but watch out. His weapon attacks have plenty of range. Oh, yes. Like, enemy introductions. Like, please, more. Ooh, this music, though. Oh, it's been a while since I've heard this music.
Now let's do this.
Okay, what we got? That shows another little bit of story. Jump attack. Jumping is new to mainline games. You could jump in Travis Strikes. Again, it feels so good that it's addictive. Okay. Oh my god, that took me by surprise. I think I did a special move. That wasn't even what I was supposed to be doing. What was that skull fucker death kick? I love it. Perfect dodge. Alright, that's so good! It's basically Dark Step from the first game, but looks so much better. Reminds me a little bit of Killer is Dead. You know, because you haven't really lived a life until you powerbomb someone. Go ahead, stop, throw you. German suplex. How does a German not win with that move? Death glove skills. Okay, this is what I must have done before. The death kick. Full armor mode, you get 777. So this used to be Anarchy in the Galaxy. It shoots a multi-missile. So what does this look like? Yeah, it's gonna look hype as fuck is what it's gonna look like. Oh! Destroy. Destroyed everyone! I'm loving it, folks. I'm not sure you can tell, but Matthew likes what he's playing right now.
My recommended superfood is golden milk.
It's like beer, lemonade, and summertime. Lime booze, flavor the moment.
So this is where the real hardcore bad guys are.
It's like the egg from Aliens. Like, yes, thank you, Gene.
Hey, the egg is cracked.
Something not so good is gonna come out of that thing.
Yeah, poke your head right in. What? This is gonna be bad.
Let me pick you up, little guy.
Jesus Christ. So bad. What's even happening? Sure?
This is not black. My boss, boom, he went bad, crazy, destroyed the whole planet.
So why do you work for him, though? That seems weird.
It is indeed. So why not get revenge?
Exactly.
We won't last 3 damn seconds against me.
Oh, so he's tough.
With a life of submission, we bet this. You can still go back.
Travis is giving good life advice, folks.
No. Either way, who's gonna kill me? Okay, wanna get started?
Oh, we're just doing it. Okay, cool. So we'll put together everything we've learned. Probably die during this boss. I don't. Whoa. Yeah, I'm assuming I want to avoid that. I want to avoid this now. Okay, good. Oh, okay. So I get it for fighting a bunch of. Oh my god! Look at this JoJo shit. Okay. He's officially at 50%. He's got to start doing something different. Okay, there's that new shit I ordered. It's black holes literally behind me. Okay. Oh, whoa. Ow. Okay. I was worried about that for 1 second. Oh my Jesus. No! How much damage is that? A whole crap load. Great. And that's just kill. That's just a kill move. Okay. What? You dead? You dead?
Don't let me down.
Retry. Oh my god, there's an SNK style continue service that gave me nothing. Yeah, just get in there. Like, I just gotta shove my face in this general crotch area, damn it. And just, you can't be afraid when you get, oh. And now I'm getting the slash reel, so I have to get an advantage there. Or we're already having down to 50% in like half the time. Oh, just, oh, 7 Central 7! Let's do this! Yeah! Oh my god, that was almost his entire life bar. What do I get? A lesson acquired? What is that? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Mr. Black Hole dead?
Travis? Where is this?
What? We were inside him? This is not going to be the first nor the last time I'm going to say this. What the hell is going on? One of these 3 portals is the right one. I'm going to probably pick the wrong one. Yes, very wrong. Apple. Good punish though. What? Is this all I'm going to do? What? Full armor Travis! This is a multi-laser! Hyper negative particle cannon! The boost! It wasn't in Bujingalia mode. I didn't see that. You can boost with, oh my god, there's so much being thrown at me. But give me more. Just bukkake me right now. With all this stuff. I need it. Just pepper him with the old razzle down and just do that.
Yo, what the fuck? I'll have to look into this game.
It
looks crazy. Looks crazy enough.
Let's go! Yes. So how many times do we have to kill the first boss again? It's like 3 times. I guess he had 3 forms, but his 3rd form had 3 phases. Oh! Are you really dead though? Or is there gonna be another phase? Mr. Black Hole dead? Okay, no question mark. That confirms it.
Underestimate Earthlings.
Thank you. Now I've got Travis touchdown data I need.
What data?
Nah, no one cares about the data.
From your behavioral and strategic
Don't be looking through my search history.
French food. Seriously, ever since way back when, you really...
No, nobody cares. That was amazing. What's this anime? End screen.
You are in the eye of the storm.
Does anyone want to talk about how Jean talks? No?
Sylvia, there's something I need to talk to you about.
She just goes away and her where's she dropping, boys? I don't. The ranking screen. Oh yeah. Sonic Juice. This is another title card. Ranking number 10. We are ranking number 10. Darkness. God. This is so pseudo all over. It's like more pseudo than he's ever been.
Did Black Hole get killed? I see. Dead, huh? That's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
Somebody you know? Apparently some asshole took out Black Hole. Hey you, secretary. Get the president on the line.
Really? Sylvia can just ring up the president.
Mr. President, you're gonna hold an emergency press conference.
I can't stop Metal Gear.
Oh shit.
Oh, instant transmission.
I'll be at Damon Tower in Utopia Land.
Sorry, what?
Anyone is welcome.
Alright, so he's so powerful that he wants to hold a game. Some type of cell game. Where everyone's gonna try to fight him. Oh my god, 3 missiles were just shot at him. Where are those landing? What is being blown up?
You wanna kill me? Come and kill me. You have 10 of the most elite dudes in the galaxy awaiting you.
Well, it's more like 9 because I killed the other.
Well, we got killed. So 9. And we'll go home.
If you kill us all, we'll go home.
Simple enough, right?
Who and 9 of his aliens are dispatched into formation, prepared to destroy the planet anytime. 5 on Earth.
Wait.
Sky.
Oh,
On the moon.
sure.
In space.
The moon is technically in space. I don't know.
And his 9 soldiers, all recognized.
Just
by
the UAA is somehow behind this still?
sent to Earth as the Galactic Superhero Ranking members. Number 10, the Passing Assassin.
Look at his action figure.
Number 9,
It's not worth anything.
War Dealer Gold Joe.
Gold Joe's cool.
Number 8, the Alien Kidnapper, Black Knight Direction.
He's also cool.
The Memory Tree.
Vanishing Point is the dopest shit.
Number 6, the Castro Cannon.
Yes,
Number 5,
sure.
the Dark World Princess.
Oh!
Our own King of Destruction.
This is good, folks. This is really good that we're doing it this way.
Star Battle of Space versus Earth.
What is this? Is this Netflix reference? So we're doing it's gonna be like a show, huh? Ranking number 9. This is Spazio. Space. Okay. So alright, now we have free range. Gene is right there. Sitting. A delectable treat. What can we do with Gene? Just give her pets. Just give her snuggles. Maybe a boop. Wardrobe. Access the wardrobe in the motel. Swap t-shirts and change up your outfit. The only changes are aesthetic. Oh, okay. I would have liked a few buffs for certain costumes, maybe combinations. I always like that little bit of a feature. Not like huge things, but I wouldn't have minded. Oh, I can go back to this look, relaxed style with Bio Lance. I can go jacketless. That's not bad. I think we'll go jacketless, but what do we have for actual t-shirts? All right, lots of known pleasures. You know, as Pseudo loves the known pleasures. There's Memorial for 1 and 2, and TSA. Ooh, I like Palm Tree. Now, Travis is still a huge Devolver stan, as he should be. Now, we're going Palm Tree. I like it. Ombre style, you know? Quarantino would be proud that I said that right. You know, we're rocking that for now. Work it! We're gonna work the shit out of this. Move this thing up. I can't believe that. That's
What
so
the
intimidating. All right, get on there. We're gonna pay for college. That was so strong. You have her body strength. There's Jean again.
Buy me a ball?
What? Aim for the circle through the moving ball. Press A to throw. If the ball enters the circle, Jean will shoot it back. The more you succeed, the smaller the circle will get. Don't lose your concentration. What the hell is this? I'll play with the cat. I don't care.
What's up, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. My own cat is sleeping right behind me. I'm gonna play with digital Jean here. You suck. Oh no.
Come on.
God, I wish my cat could talk. I wish that it was exactly like Jean. Yeah!
Come on. Bring it.
Jean has lost interest. Alright, that's enough of that shit. We need to. Oh my god, look at this. This is the Santa Destroy star, of course. So they blew up Santa Destroy, or like most of California here, and I made a star. And the rest of that is. This is the Thunderdome. But there's Santa Destroy Stadium. And there's where they blew up everything in the middle. Damn, man. Zoom through the city on your bike. Hold 0 to accelerate. Hit Y for a speedy nitro boost. Hold down the accelerator over a certain speed and hit the brake to turn. There's another handy piece of info. If you lose your bike on map, press X. Because against Bishop's not doing that anymore. Or we're punching it. Oh, wow. That controls really nicely, actually. That's far less janky than the original game. Whoa! Yeah! Can I push this? Yes, I can. That's good. Everything's under construction. It's in Montreal. Jesus, I can't walk anywhere. What is this? Who are these people? Isn't it just terrible? There are empty cans littered everywhere. I'd like to test out your true fortitude. Trash collection. I'll keep the city clean, pick up all the cans. That seems simple enough. I can accept this request. Trash collection. Pick up all the garbage. Something, it said something about alligators? Let's just collect all the trash. This is all we need to do. It doesn't need to be more complicated than this. I mean, I thought I saw alligators flash on the screen. I might have dreamed it. That's possible. We're doing it. We're making the. If we save enough cans, folks, if we recycle them, surely the ocean won't be on fire. Oh my god, the alligators are guarding this trash. And I have like 3 lives, I guess, in the top corner. Oh my god. Let's go! You can't escape. Oh! Oh yeah. That alligator is now like we made orphans of its children with the suplex. Where's all the trash? Oh! Dude. Okay, I just need to pick up the amount of finishing time. Yeah.
No more than 10 hours of gaming per day.
That was fun. Good work. Seeing you working so hard has truly moved me. Take this as your reward. $3,000 and some bullshit. Oh my god. Oh my, wow. Ouch. Nobody saw that. Alright, we do this. Let us go. What's gonna happen? What? Okay, it was just a big jump over the part that they destroyed with the orbital satellite laser. Alright, it says this guy's unknown, but it's just, his shop is different, which is weird. Hey there, how's it going? You wanna help me out there, buddy? I'm not your buddy, friend. I got me an idea for the ultimate ramen recipe. I'm gonna need scorpions, though. I'll pay nicely. Bring them all and I'll pay you even nicelier. You can find scorpions all over the city. It's just like a general fetch quest. Be careful of the scorpions counter attack. Yeah, sure, why the fuck not? Something flash on the screen? Wait, what? It's Scorpion! What is... Oh, whoa, it's counter attack! Pick him up? Yeah, this is one of those references to that game that Nintendo published. I believe it was called Star Fox Adventures. So this is a fruity, smelly scorpion. That's nice to know that they're out there. Oh my God, what is this now? Isn't it just terrible? The public toilets are always clogged. Test out your true fortitude. Please fix these smelly toilets. 2. Here comes 1. I really want Max to stream this game, and he'll shout. Alright, finish it up. I did a good. Ichiban! Good work. Senior work service truly moved me. Take this as your reward. Movie flyer and a couple of money bucks. Cool. Good. Now that I've completely cleaned that toilet, let's destroy it now! Gonna unleash the beast! Wait, we're in the alley. There's a Pizza Bat sign. We're in the alley that's next to the bar plastic model where we used to dump the lava cop balls. There's Pistol Yakuza. I can't wait for that to be Yakuza 8. Please bring back Mark Hamill.
Relax. I hear you're trying to start your own family.
It's so cool looking at Santa Destroy again. This is the Thunder Ryu building. This is where that ghost forced us to clean our ass. Oh, it's an alien. A t-shirt alien, some might say. That's literally what it's called. I'm here to propagate fashion. Riri is the best. Alright, Death Ray. Crystal Death. That's pretty good. Alright, so we are about to jump into another district. You have to go to Perfect. This is Neo Brazil. Let's go to Perfect World. Wow. It's perfect. Everything I do is absolutely perfect. Alright, find designated matches. The general location designated match should be displayed. Once you have designated match, get in there and fight. So we have to do that to set up the ranking fight? Ah! Shit. Oh, Scorponok! Gimme. So good. I guess that's the designated fight, but what is this? And away we go! What the? Oh, I thought those were something else. Tripulent, cunning, brutal, hungry, bouncing all over the place like that, like he's gonna try to hit and run me. I gotta find a way to take him down. Let's do this shit. Watch me get bodied. Alright, he just hops around. He's gonna charge at me. That's fine, that's not too bad. I can deal with this. You're gonna mecha me finish this. Oh man, I botched that pun. It's fine. Get fucked. Okay, I'm invincible too, but I don't even need it. I should have said you're mecha meme crazy. Damn it, I watched it a second time. Alright, who do we next have on our killing list? Okay. This is like a chest pull. Why? This all leads to another dimension. You know you want it, but hold back. Man, all this stuff is written so well. I don't know who at Grasshopper is responsible for the Japanese to English translation, but it translates. Mwah! All right. Yeah, there you go. I guess I just needed to kill all of them for the kill. It's crazy. Hello, weird hat lady. What are you? Isn't it just terrible? One cannot even play catch with all this grass. I can go for some grass. I like to test out some of your true fortitude. Please clean up all this grass. You know who also loves grass? Suda51. Press B while changing direction to do an awesome turn. Oh, we so do this. Oh man, this is like you can overdrive this lawnmower. Maybe if I just go too crazy with the dash, it's 73% power. It's too much. Just trimming the hedges. Oh, that awesome turn! You see that shit? Yo girl, you see me? You see me styling on this grass? Oh, she's walking away. She's not impressed. I'm the best. We have enough money to open up the rankings fight.
Man.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah! So I had to cut out a lot of chapter 2 there, folks, and Grasshopper asked me to do that, and I'm happy to oblige. But at first I was like, why did they want me to cut that stuff out? And then I saw that stuff, and I was like, wow! They'll never let me show that again! Not in a million years! So, some pretty sick shit happened there, but I guess you're just gonna have to check the game out when it releases this Friday. What? I heard a kitty meow, and my ears are attuned to meows of kitties.
Matt McMuscles is an idiot. I'm new to the channel. Not the look I was going for. I guess he goes in and plays the games and then just kind of commentates and gives like a fast forward through games that way. But either way, I'll have to look into it because it looks super crazy. It looks like it's everything from down to earth shit to like super duper shit from out in space. So what do you want to call that? Like a property like that can definitely go far, do a whole lot. So I like it. It's cool. But other than that, that's gonna be the end of this one. Actually, I feel like this marker's already running low on me, man. This is not cool. It's like I try using it and it's supposed to be super strong, but it's not. It's like kind of weak. And it kind of threw me off when I was working down here because I thought it was gonna be stronger and it wasn't. And yeah, now things are weird in that area. I don't know what to do about it. But either way, we'll just call it quits. Still a decent piece to end this character out on. I'm happy with it. I'm glad all the bling worked out and came through. So, let me see. I didn't take a picture of it. Let's do that. And yeah, man, let's call it an end to this episode of the Andrew Glowczewski Experience. This was 237, finishing off portraits for this guy. I'm gonna be doing like full body sketches coming up for him, doing like poses and all the uniforms and all that other stuff to try to like really bring this character to life and things like that, like I've done in the past. And yeah, I'll probably be back for more sketches today. I still got a little bit of time on my hands. Today's been a weird day, man. It's kind of one of those days where things are a little off, and you're like, oh no, what is all this leading to? Usually it leads to nothing, but still, it's been a weird one. Other than that, yeah. So I'll come back. I'll do a little bit of sketches. It may not be like a super duper stream. I'm guessing what it's gonna be is just doing some weapon sketches. I'll probably jump into that and make my first live stream of doing that. And yeah, I'll just fill up this page. It'll, maybe I could just do handguns on this page, and yeah, we should be good and be able to move forward from there. I don't know what to expect to learn from studying it. But we'll see. That's the point of doing these things is seeing where things take you, where life takes you and stuff. Anyways, I'm G Mr. Drew. It's at G Mr. Drew on all socials. Follow, like, and subscribe. And check out my website, gmrdrew.art. Link is in bio. You can and yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, link is in the description. So check that out, man. And if you like what you see here and you want me to do a character commission for you, or any sort of commission for you, original characters and all that stuff, you want to see my take on it, then yeah, hit me up. You can find me on Fiverr, or you could join my Patreon for as low as $3 a month and get annual commissions from me. And depending on the tier, you can get a whole lot. And yeah, man, that's gonna be it. Anyone who's still watching this episode, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. I love you all. Peace.